Well, I recently sat down for a stream of Metal Gear Solid on the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, contemporary re-release for the modern consoles of classic games. Metal Gear Solid released in 1998 for the original PlayStation and was my introduction to the franchise. And that holiday season, everybody was hyped for The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time on the N64, but when I went to a Walmart and saw the demo for Metal Gear Solid on a PlayStation kiosk, it blew my mind. This total badass doing covert ops, walking in puddles, you can see his breath, the vision cones of enemies with your goal being to avoid detection. Yeah, I was like, Zelda who? For a time, Metal Gear Solid was among my favorite video games, but I hadn't played it since the year 2000, and a recent livestream showed how rusty I am. Story-wise, you take on the role of Solid Snake, a do-it-all one-man army, but who is better off going quiet. It's up to you to infiltrate an Alaskan base and stop a group of terrorists from arming nukes. This game ushered in an era of stealth gameplay, which many hybrid titles still employ today, offering you the opportunity to sneak past enemies, but in 1998 it was a novel thought. Much more in vogue to go loud and stack bodies. As players progress, so does your kit. And with just a little practice, you find the sneaking portions to be rather trivial, with AI easily outsmarted, and this is one of those games where your walk animation is faster when you're holding an item, so hold those chaff grenades. Now, you can complete the game in under 3 hours, but it's 10 hours if you sit through all of the cutscenes, which use in-game engine, which was also quite innovative. Every scene plays out as if storyboarding a movie. Dramatic camera angles, even slow motion, it predates the action in The Matrix. The simplistic art style of the characters works, forcing you to use your imagination to fill in the gaps, but also providing realistic motion capture. This is much more effective storytelling than Resident Evil 2's standing still and motioning with hands. And the voice acting is top-notch. Now, Metal Gear Solid may not be the very first game to nail voice acting. That honor may go to other games helmed by Hideo Kojima, such as Policenauts and Snatcher. But I think this is the first one that got it right for a big audience in the West. And I'm not sure how they did this wizardry with 2 CDs and the limitations of RAM on that original PlayStation, because these performances are rock solid across the cast, with sentences that flow naturally into each other. But Kojima is insistent on showing you these tricks. Much of the game actually takes place listening to dialogue acted out in the codec, which, though skippable, you still want to play a video game, right? This is a video game, not an audio drama. For the completionists out there, if you want that elite achievement for completing the game and getting that one of those top ranks, well, you might want to play the Japanese version, which shipped with no difficulty settings, meaning the game is essentially on easy. I perfected the torture sequence, choked out Johnny without raising an alarm, and even performed the Fable Boba skip. I managed to complete the game in under 3 hours using 0 rations and no continues, being spotted no times outside of scripted events, and earning the Fox rank. And it is during this playthrough where you realize that the game is mostly a boss rush. These truly memorable encounters will have you dispatching foes with a variety of weapons and tactics. And you have choices. Look, if you're not that great with the sniper rifle, next time you find Sniper Wolf, hit her with a Nikita missile in the bum. But Vaughn, I hate you because you said Tomb Raider was outdated and unplayable for today's modern audiences. Alright, Metal Gear Solid is not designed to be played with an Xbox Series 2 Elite controller, but a modest quality of life update allowed me to invert the Y-axis. Now, your confirm and cancel buttons are opposite of most every other game on the market right now. Your ability to fire a gun hinges on auto-aim, and for the times where you're forced into first-person shooting, you can get accustomed to this game's version of aim assist, with generous lock-on missiles and hitboxes. Though you sneak from a bird's-eye view, it's not truly a fixed camera, nor is it tank controls. MGS is relatively polished, in part because it's actually the 3rd installment in the series. Though this is the first entry to go 3D, and yeah, I know those textures aren't much to look at, but back in the day, let me tell you, this was something. I think Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 gave the team an opportunity to lay the groundwork for stealth gameplay, while Policenauts allowed Kojima to express a cinematic experience in a video game, making Metal Gear Solid the fruits of these labors. And par for the course for any 90s game coming to a modern platform, there is a disclaimer that we have outdated views in this title, but we are presenting them as they were. I mean, look, I don't really see what the
Well, if you make it back in one piece, maybe I'll let you do a strip search on me.
Okay, yeah, that could be problematic. I give Metal Gear Solid a 9.8 out of 10. And as for this particular release, it is a faithful adaptation to your modern system. Okay, it could be upscaled to 4K, but then it wouldn't be faithful now, would it?
I'll hold you to that, Doctor.